about will Netflix buy Warner Brothers? With the way that these things are shaking up and the way that things are going around right now with the studio, things are in shambles, things are all over the place, and most of all, things are a mess right now because, of course, WB has brought this upon themselves, and for years, this has all built up, and it's where we are right now because, of course, their greed and everything that has to do with the studio and their bad decisions has literally led them to where we are right now. All right, so we will be talking about a few things and stuff like that. Hopefully, everybody's having a chill, good Friday because, of course, it's Friday. You already know what's up. Vegeta, what's cracking? What's going on? Appreciate you for watching. Edward, what's up? Thank you for watching. Also, Winmere or W Mir. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Thank you. Yeah. I know a lot of people are saying it, but let's not jump ahead. Let's not jump ahead. Nothing is officially confirmed. So, of course, every company are right now, they're doing their strategy on how to buy Warner Brothers. This is all coming from everyone everywhere right now. So we just have to see in the end who's going to buy them and how much they're going to buy them because that's the big question that we're all asking. Slipknot, what's up? Appreciate you for watching, my friend. Yes, sir. You already know it. Restored the Ben Affleck verse. Hell yeah. Restored the Snyder verse. Sean, what's up? Yes. Today's Halloween. Hopefully everybody stays safe, especially today. Charger Six Pack, what's up? Not much, mi amigo. Aquí chilling with y'all, hanging out and talking and discussing all this good stuff. Ace, what's up? Netflix by what is it? Warner Brothers. Restore Snyderverse. Yes, sir, my friend. You already know it. Yes, sir. Hell yeah. All of y'all stay safe and have a happy Halloween because just stay safe out there. Times are rough and people are they like to act a fool. James, what's up? Appreciate you for watching, buddy. Thank you. Here, just hanging out with y'all. I'm doing good, my friend. I just feel like I'm catching a cold, so bear with me if you guys hear me cough or whatever. I guess it's that time of the year and stuff, so you already know. Um, all right, let's see. Pride Tune, what's up? What's up? Let's see. Do you think Zach is talking to Comcast right now? Yeah, I think he's talking to all of them, and they're all talking to him. They're probably getting feedback and stuff like that. Let's be real. Let's be real, my friends, and especially to the doubters, the people that are doubting. Look, this buyout and this sale is going to happen. Who's going to acquire them? We do not know. We do not know officially. Everything is right now speculation, and we're just hearing things left and right. And things are constantly going to keep on changing. Nothing is in concrete right now. All right. There is no legit paperwork signed. There is no legit, buyer. There is no legit, everything has process. No, everything is right now. We still don't know how much Netflix is willing to offer. We still don't know how much Comcast is willing to make that counter offer, and we do know that Paramount has been turned down, what, 4 times now? So greedy David Zaslav needs to hurry up and make his decision. And I think this is all just gonna end up going in probably the high hundred. I mean, yeah, the high hundred what billions that they're trying to get. But we'll see. So again, everything is just speculation, and we're gonna see what it's gonna, where it's gonna end up at and stuff like that. Let's see, Super Sentai. Now, bad news. Super Sentai the end in Japan. Well, probably for now they're probably gonna bring out some new stuff. Who knows? Sometimes studios do that. Ace and probably they might put out some different, maybe a different content with it. So I don't think it's fully done. They just do that just to probably get people to keep on talking. Restore the Henry Cavill verse. Yes, sir. You already know with Superman. Restore Snyderverse. Yes, we need that. You know what? I want Universal to buy Warner Bros. Discovery. Yeah, same with me. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I would prefer Comcast, which owns Universal, just because Christopher Nolan is there and they put out physical media and they like to focus more on the customer and stuff like that. So, you know, we'll see what's up. Edward, you're sick too? Yeah, it's that time of the year, so we're finally entering fall and stuff like that. So, it happens. Just stay safe, make sure to take your medicine, get rest, and we should be good. Fabian, what's up? Restore Snyderverse. Yes, all day. You already know it. TL5688. Your question is, even if Snyder comes back, are the actors ready to come back in the middle of all this suddenly to make another Justice League movie? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I want you and anybody that doesn't believe that they would come back to right now quote to me, send me a message, put it right here so we can all see it on the chat, and tell me When has any of these actors and actresses said that they're done and they've moved on? I'll wait because there's nothing official. They're all ready to come back. They're all ready to keep on putting out more content. And most of all, there's always a paycheck, baby. You get what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, yo, let's go. Money talks in the end. Big Trouble, Paramount, James Gunn, Clowns, Peter Safran. Yeah. Look, at this point, I do not want Paramount to buy WB. And I'm glad that David Zaslav is turning them down because they're trying to lowball them. But if Paramount does buy them, they're trying to make David Zaslav, the current dumbass that's at WB right now, you know, they're trying to make him a co CEO. Why? Why would you want somebody that's not making money for a company and producing some type of profits and you're going to offer him a co-CEO position? I don't care. I don't want to hear no excuses because we already know he's going to drag in and bring in James Gunn and it's just going to be the same thing continuing. So, yeah, I don't want that to happen, honestly. When you talk about restoring the Snyderverse, you also talk about making Wonder Woman 3 and Aquaman 3 along with other solo movies. Don't you think it should be Wonder Woman 2 rather than Wonder Woman 3, as Wonder Woman 84 doesn't count with Snyder? Yes and no. But what is done is done. I mean, they can always go back and fix it like they did with Justice League. So, yeah, there's a possibility, you know? Like I said, just for the sake of continuity, I mean, let them do their thing, I guess. You know, in the end, Zach is the man with the plan. However he wants to do it, so be it. That's just me speculating and saying. You get what I'm saying? Just like, you know, he could retcon also the same way that James Gunn has retcon. So, you know, James Gunn wants to play that game of retconning things. Hey, so can Snyder also. And he's already done it with Justice League. So anything could happen. I think 120 billion is the next. I mean, it's the max these companies are going to offer. What do you think? Damn, 120 billion? That's a lot of money. That's double of what Paramount is offering. So it could be. It could be. You know, I think he's gonna try to settle and try to get at least 100 and probably 105 billion. Just because I mean, when you take away taxes and all that, you imagine how much taxes that's gonna be nuts. But still, you have a lot of profit. You get what I'm saying? So again, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? I say Comcast, NBC, Universal should buy Warner Brothers Discovery. One of the reasons is because they already have a bunch of Harry Potter stuff in the theme parks. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. That is true. That is true. So they could milk it and keep on milking it. Son of Thunder, what's going on, my brother? Here, just chilling with y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Cartoon Central, sell WB to Comcast. Yeah, I would preferably want Comcast, but again, whoever has the money and is willing to buy them, yo, let it be. You get what I'm saying? I just hope it doesn't end up being Paramount just because Paramount wants to keep James Gunn and they want to continue with what the hell he's doing. So again, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. If Paramount in the end does end up buying Warner Brothers, I'll still keep on watching their movies, but I'll keep on watching mainly the Transformers. But when it comes to if they own DC, wallets remain locked, period. And they will feel again the power of us, the fans, because if right now we've been literally making WB and that's WB on their own going down, what do you think Paramount's going to feel? They're going to feel the effect of us too. So, you know, they better not play around with us. I tagged them on X, so we'll see what's up. Comcast better not turn it into a subsidiary. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. Just because there's too much money. There's too much money. So I doubt it. I doubt it. Let's see. Hello. You chose Universal, which means same as you. Oh, okay, you're talking with Sergeant. What's up? Appreciate you for watching. Who knows what will happen at this point? Yeah, exactly. That's why I've been saying things are shifting and nothing right now is official. Everything is up in the air. Everything is up in the air until we start hearing officially. Remember, you guys got to also remember right now we've only heard officially from Paramount $60 billion. They've been turned down 4 times. That we know for sure. We still don't know how much Comcast is willing to offer and counteroffer. We still don't know how much Netflix is willing to counteroffer. And yes, I understand recently the co-CEO of Netflix came out and he said a few days ago that they're not interested in buying buying Warner Brothers. And that's understandable. But you know, somewhere in there, the greed always pushes them, and that's why we're starting to hear all these rumors again. Remember, everything is just rumors and speculation right now. Nothing is official. So we'll see what's gonna happen and what's gonna come in the end overall, and let's see how long this is going to last. Not even Michael Keaton said anything about not returning. Boom, thank you. Exactly, Vegeta. I agree with you. I truly agree with you. It's all about ideology and control. Yeah, unfortunately, that's how this business it runs, within Hollywood, so that's how they are. Let's see, Film Goblin, what's up? I haven't found anywhere where Paramount said that. I think John Campion made that shit up. Probably, but again, remember, you have to also remember in this industry, people hear things and things change. Things move around. Remember with the Snyder Cut, before we got the Snyder Cut, yes, I'm aware that Zach was posting pictures and releasing pictures and doing the same thing like he's doing right now. But nothing was official. Nobody knew that that was coming. Nobody. We were like, oh, what's this? You get what I'm saying? So once it was officially announced, we were like, oh, snap, it really happened. So the same thing could happen with this, like, again, everything is just up in the air. We don't know. And things are constantly changing because they could say one thing and literally less than 5 minutes, things could change again. And then within those 5 or 10 minutes, things could change again. You get what I'm saying? That's how the corporate world is. If you guys haven't been around corporate, I'm telling you right now, it's the most shadiest, disgusting side of any business. That is the most filthiest part of running any business because they constantly like to say things and then they turn around and say, no, it wasn't this. Look at what they did to Henry Cavill. Remember when he was back for Black Adam? He announced it. It was official, everything. He even turned down Netflix for The Witcher and whatever, and all that stuff. And in the end, what happened? James Gunn happened. And everything was ruined. And look at the mess that we're in. Thank you, James Gunn, for screwing things up. So, we just have to keep on looking and seeing how this is all going to turn out. DCU in the end, 2026, 2027. Hopefully, it's before that. So we will see how far it goes. Yeah, but the logic cuts both ways. Just because they have not said anything doesn't mean they want able to come back. Yeah, but they haven't said anything that they haven't moved on or that they're done. So, everything is 50-50, but they'll come back. They'll come back. Green Lantern DCEU. Hell yeah. I can't wait to see that scene that we're supposed to get. And of course, with the leaks that we've seen with Wayne T. Carr. So, again, everything is possible. Michael Keaton should play Aquaman's brother Orm's father in the DCEU. I don't know. I don't even know how to feel about that, honestly. Just because of they're trying to set up Batman. What is Batman Beyond? Who knows? Again, if Netflix gets WB, I don't think Henry will be rushing to come back after everything with The Witcher. I mean, it's all about money. In the end, Henry did what he had to do. The studio screwed him over. Studio screwed people over. I mean, money talks. Money talks in the end. So let's be real. Like most of these actors and actresses, they're gonna come in and they're gonna be like, you know what? All right, whatever. Just sign the check and let's do this. You get what I'm saying? It's all business. It's nothing personal. Demencio, what's up? Thank you for watching. Also, all right. Let's see. Universal Studios can replace all the Marvel and Simpsons stuff with DC stuff. Yeah, yeah. They could do crossovers. They could do whatever they want. So, again, who knows? Who knows? What they want to do. Any studio that doesn't restore Snyderverse will keep our wallets closed. Yeah, yeah, we will exactly keep doing the same thing. They're gonna feel the pressure of us, the fans, because in the end, we are the majority. And talking about majority, real quick, have you all noticed that McFarlane Toys extended an extra day on the Harley Quinn 2-pack with Joker? Damn, they are making money with that. They literally extended it 3 extra days. What does that tell you? That is a huge success. The last time I saw it, I think it was like what earlier. I think it was last night that I saw. It was supposed to end last night on 31st or something like that, midnight. And now they extended until November 1st, which is for tomorrow. And I'm like, they are making money off of this, with these pre-orders and stuff. Again, it shows you, they're making money. That's all that matters and stuff. So I think they're testing the waters. They already know what's up, So I fully believe that this is all going to happen. Let's see. If Comcast buys WBDC, I want to see Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn again. Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Let's see. The Creed ATL, what's up? Thanks for watching. It's all coming together. Netflix loves Zach, and the cast would return in a second for Zach. Zach sharing all these Justice League cast picks. No coincidence. Exactly. That's not a coincidence. That they know what they're doing. This is a marketing strategy to see if there's still excitement. McFarlane Toys putting out that Batman versus Superman crowd campaign that got funded in 5 days, literally, and it surpassed at the end of the month. Now with the Harley Quinn and Joker figure from Suicide Squad, I take that as, yo, that's all Snyderverse. You know what I'm saying? That to me is like, yo, that's Suicide Squad from David Ayer. That's Ayer cut version we're talking about. You get what I'm saying? Two different IPs within the same brand. So what are they doing? They're seeing the numbers. They're like, yo, these numbers are wild. Why would they extend another 2 days, 3 days for a toy? A toy. Imagine if they were to do something cinematic. Wow, like everybody. You know, you'll have shows like John Campia crying everywhere. You know, you like straight up, you'll see them all. You know, you'll probably have the Truth 31 trying to jump back on the bandwagon of the Snyderverse. You get what I'm saying? So, it's lovely to see how all these shills are having a meltdown everywhere. Literally, they're all having a meltdown, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see them. Um, let's see. Margot Robbie has a first look deal there. Let's see if Comcast buys WBDC. I want Jack Black to be casted as the Penguin. Any news regarding Ayer cut? Nothing yet. We haven't heard anything yet. What's your favorite monochrome photo Zach has released so far? Batman standing, sitting, close up, Deathstroke, or Superman? I'm gonna be honest with you. Out of all the pictures that he just posted, I like the one where he's sitting down. The one where he's sitting down is like he's plotting. You get what I'm saying? Because that's Nightmare Batman. You know, I like all the pictures that he posted, but I really like the one with the Nightmare, with the coat, you know, the goggles and all that stuff. Just because, like I said, I want to see what continues and where things pick up from the last movie, which is, you know, of course, the Snyder cut, you know, from the epilogue scene and, you know, that nightmare timeline. I want to see what the hell is taking place in that. You get what I'm saying? And of course, you know, with whatever he wants to put, I mean, I'm down. I want to see. I just want to see more with Ben Affleck. Hopefully, Black Adam versus Superman movie. Yeah, I see that would happen also. Restored the Michael Keaton Batman Beyond the movie. Yeah, that would be nice. I really want to see that. I think Cavill and Affleck won't be ready to come back suddenly, but Snyder can definitely talk them into coming back. I think they're ready to come back. You know, like straight up. Look, fun fact. I don't know if you guys know, but Ben Affleck, when he did that epilogue scene and the extra reshoots for the Snyder cut, he did it for free. So what is that telling you? He did it for free. He did it on the house. He was like, "Yo, for Zach, let's do it," because he believes in Zach. He believes in the fans. He knows that there's a huge demand. So for him coming to do those extra scenes, I was like, "Yo, that's loyalty right there." You get what I'm saying? Who the hell's gonna tell that to James Gunn? His brother? His wife? Come on, let's be real. You know, it's like, nah, man, that's straight up loyalty right there. Keep the fight up forever until Snyderverse is restored. Hell yeah, hell yeah. We will stop at nothing. Yeah, money talks, but Henry's working on his passion project with Warhammer. Amazon's not going to let him leave anytime soon. Man, money talks. That's all that matters. In the end, money talks. That's all. Do you think Ed Boon buying Mortal Kombat? Um, I mean, he does own Mortal Kombat, but I know the rights are with Warner Brothers and stuff like that. So I don't see that happening. He sold the rights to Warner Brothers years ago. I feel he should have just kept them, you know, because yeah, I mean it's WB, you know, so I mean he's probably getting some good money off of it, the royalties and stuff. But I don't know. I just feel when you own your own IP, it's best not to sell it. You know, you can rent it, you can lease it, but sell it 100%. Nah, you know, like I don't know. I'm just not down with that. At least for me, that's my point of view. Money talks. How many singers return after retirement? Exactly. So many people come back. You know, oh, this is our last tour, whatnot, and they end up coming back. So you know, it happens. It's business. You know. Look at Jim Carrey. He was like, "Oh, I'm only gonna do Sonic one," and dudes signed up for like what, like now the fourth one coming up, and he even said it in the interview. He was like, "Oh, I needed the money." So you know what does that tell you? They got money. You know, like the studios got money. Happy that Matt Reeves didn't cast Ben Affleck as Batman. Ben Affleck's solo should be directly by Snyder only. Yeah. I am truly also, you know, happy that that didn't happen. So Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix. Yes, sir. You know it. Universal Studios, the DC. Yeah. Brass Reeves 26. What's up? What's up, my friend? Thank you for tuning in. Also, Zach is probably talking to Netflix right now. Probably. They're all probably having calls, Zoom calls, you know, everything, you know, text messages. It's wild. It's wild. For sure, things are happening. That's no and, ifs, or buts. Things are happening, my friends. That is no doubt. I'm telling you straight up. You see, Lanterns has been delayed. I am not surprised and I am not interested, honestly. I do not care about Lanterns, honestly. I do not care about nothing. Let me repeat that. I do not care about nothing that James Gunn is putting out with the DCU. I don't care about what Matt Reeves is doing. I don't care about what James Gunn is putting out. I am not interested. I am interested in seeing Zach back soon. I'm interested in this whole buyout happening ASAP. And then from there, we can talk. But until then, I don't care about nothing with what they're putting with Lanterns and DCU, Supergirl. I do not care about it, honestly. Notice how I'm not really talking about it on the channel. And I'm just telling you, I'm not giving the free publicity anymore. Screw that. And that's what we need to do, not talk about it. So they don't get acknowledged like we did with Superman. Superman was a financial flop worldwide, period. That's it. We won, they lost, accept it. We're moving on. Also, does Netflix even want Snyder back? Hell yeah, they do. You would think they would have officially announced Rebel Moon 3 if that was the case. Zach is right now working on two movies. Think about that. If you're busy with two projects, how are you going to have time to do Rebel Moon? It's impossible. Zach can multiply and, do all these things. He's not like Goro with four arms and he could, two heads and freaking think. Yo, come on. Come on. Spider-Man Manny. Let's be real. If you're low key trying to troll, don't push it. Let's be real. We know Netflix made money with Rebel Moon. Zach is right now working on the last photograph. That takes about a year and a half to film, to edit, and then the marketing, and then it's released. And then after that, he's doing that movie with the people from Saudi Arabia, with the people for UFC, that he's gonna be making the Brawler, that movie. So what do you think? That's gonna be another year, probably another year and a half. So of course he's busy. That's why we don't have Rebel Moon 3. Because he's busy right now making other movies. No animation. Hell no. Hell no. Live action only. I've been very specific. It has to be live action. Hell no. I will not settle and I will not compromise for a freaking shitty animation. No. Hell no. If you want to do a shitty animation, go ahead and turn James Gunn's whole universe into animation. Look at how piss poor that is with his Creature Commandos. See what I'm saying? So that tells you everything. I heard Netflix was making a deal with AMC. Yeah, as a matter of fact, now that you said that with AMC and Netflix today, for today, I think it's until Sunday. I'm not sure. I think it's until Sunday. Netflix actually has K-pop Demon Hunters. So for whoever wants to go see it and sing along, they have the movie literally out today. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they're actually playing it at select theaters. Not everywhere, but that's a good sign because if Netflix wants to do exclusive, releases like this, because they're making bank. K-pop Demon Hunters are making money right now worldwide. They are making money. It's nuts. And, that's the hottest thing that's right now. So, of course, Netflix is trying to capitalize. They're like, yo, movie tickets. All right, let's go. That's what they're doing. You imagine if they do acquire the IP of DC and, they want to do more with Zack Snyder with, the Snyderverse and stuff, they could do the same thing. Exclusive releases, theatrical runs, and the whole surprise that comes with it. So, anything's possible. We'll see what happens. Who do you think should play Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, the DCEU? James or Chris Pratt or or Haley Joel Osment or who? Chris Pratt, no. I don't want nobody from Marvel to be with what Zach has planned. Originally, he was going to reach out and he had reached out to Ryan Reynolds. And that's Zach for the Snyder Cut. It was going to happen, but of course, Toby Emmerich and along this other clown, Jeff Johns, they put a stop on it, and they had told Zach he couldn't use the lanterns. That's why, if you notice, we don't have that scene at the end, but we know it's out there because we seen Wayne T. Carr in it. We seen the set with the green screen behind the screen, the scenes and stuff. But the thing is, Toby Emmerich and Jeff Johns said no. They didn't let Zach do that. So Zach ended up putting Martian Manhunter. That's why you see in the movie we got Martian Manhunter. So, and then because they wanted the rights, because they wanted to do this bullshit that they're doing now with the lanterns. And look at how long it's been. You get what I'm saying? And that show's dead on arrival too. That show's gonna be garbage, honestly. No, Netflix can't buy WB. They could if they got the money. In the end, it's all about who has the money. That's all. If I was James Gunn right now, I would fire myself and let Snyder do his thing. You imagine that? Yo, I'm firing myself straight up. It's like I'm packing my bags. I'm out. Like I'm not even packing my box. I'm just writing. Yeah. So yeah. Live action only, no animation. Yeah, restore Snyderverse. Yeah. It has to be live action. You started live action and the live action. If you want to go ahead and do the animation and James Gunn's DCU with the animation, like he started his shitty DCU anyways with the animation with Creature Commandos. So you get what I'm saying? It didn't work for him. Yeah, nah, it's not gonna work. Unrelated to this, I want to see Ryan Reynolds and Margot Robbie in a movie together, even if it's not a superhero movie. Yeah, that would be cool. You know, in the end, they're actors, actresses. As long as they give good content, that's all I care about, honestly. Restore the Rock, Snyder, Ben, and Michael Keaton verse. Yeah, man. Yeah. Bro, you, me, harsh critics need to be extras in every DCEU Snyder project. Yo, hit me up. Let me know. Count me in. You know, just gotta let me know in advance, and I'm down. That's it. Um. Some of these fans are scared of logic. Just listen to the weird stuff they say. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's fear. That's fear. That's exactly what it is. An announcement is different than entering production. I just feel some healthy skepticism is needed here. I mean, it's okay to be skeptic, you know. But again, I see that point of view too. You know, it's like I said, everything is a 50-50 right now. You know, nothing is officially set in concrete, and nobody can say right now, beside the studio, you know, everybody's right now speculating, like news outlets, you know, us YouTubers, fans, just you know, streamers, whatever. Everybody's speculating until we don't hear an official announcement from, you know, a representative from these studios that hey, this is what's happening, and you hear officially David Zaslav, hey, look, we've officially done the deal, it's done, and you'll be hearing soon who the new, you know, owners are going to be. Until then, everything's speculation. So, you know, I understand that, but, you know, everything's 50-50 right now. This is the League fighting Darkseid. We already seen them face Darkseid in animation. Them facing in live action is once in a lifetime event. Yeah, yeah. And for DC, the brand, you know, to go up against the Avengers, which they're setting up right now like something very massive, which is going to be Secret Wars. I mean, that's going to be like the freaking biggest thing that they're going to be putting together. And of course, Doomsday, that's going to come first. This is going to be nuts. The only way that they go up against them is literally by bringing in the Justice League and doing what Zack was doing on that R-rated style level, type of level, you know, cinema quality and stuff like that. And it's proven. It's proven by now. I mean, Zack Snyder's Justice League was a global phenomenon. The Avengers weren't a global phenomenon. They weren't. How come nobody said that? No. When you had the CEO at the time, I forgot her name, but she acknowledged it. She was like, yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League was a global phenomenon. It crashed the servers on HBO Max. I don't want to hear no excuse. It crashed the servers, period. None of Marvel movies has doing that. It hasn't done and is not doing that. Straight up. You know, and it's like, yo, like that's the thing. When you see it, all these shills are just trying to hide the fact that Zack knows how to cook. He put out some badass content, good quality, peak cinema. Everybody's acknowledging it, but they don't want to. They don't want to admit it. That's the thing, because these shills carry an agenda. Zack doesn't. Zack is all about fan service. Let's give the fans what they're gonna enjoy. Let's do something different. Let's do something unique, something new. That's why I love his work. I don't like everything he does. I don't like Army of the Dead, and I'm a zombie fan, but I loved his Dawn of the Dead, and I get it. Some of you are gonna be like, "Oh, but James Gunn helped him." Yes, I understand that James Gunn helped him. Who cares? I enjoyed that movie. I enjoyed that movie for what it is, you know. But I'm just trying to show you that as a fan, you know, it's like, oh, you're a cultist. No, I'm not. I don't like Army of the Dead. It's just not my cup of tea. What can I do? See what I'm saying? I loved Rebel Moon. I love Rebel Moon, both versions. That's just me. See what I'm saying? It's not for everybody, but I enjoyed it for what it is, you know. And now I'm looking forward to the next movie that he's gonna put, you know, put out and stuff like that. So, and again, of course, with his DC, I mean, I love that. Everything that he did with DC was just that's my type of entertainment when it comes to these superheroes and stuff. What James Gunn is doing is just not for me, and it's not for a lot of people. This is why you see that the ticket sales didn't do good. Merchandise is not selling. It's just not getting the feedback that they thought, meaning the studio was going to get. No, it's just not. It doesn't trend the way that Zack Snyder does. Daily reminder: if you were in charge, you would have let the Snyderverse continue and finish before allowing James Gunn and Peter Safran or someone else rebooting the DCEU. Yeah, they had the opportunity, but you know, they did just drop the ball big time. Do you like Zach's Dawn of the Dead? Oh, look, I just literally talked about that. Yeah, yeah, I love that movie. I love that movie. Um, yeah, Zach did a watch party with Ryan Reynolds where he said he wanted to come back as Green Lantern for Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3. Yeah, and I remember they were gonna do something, and I don't know what happened after that, but you know, it is what it is. But anything could come back again. Anything is possible. How come they can't do What? How come they can't don't owe a bunch of properties, so definitely can buy WB? I mean, I guess it's all money in the end. It's pretty much everything's always money in the end. Uh, Zach said, if Netflix had the rights to the characters in my DC universe, of course I would. Absolutely, yeah, exactly. And that's him confirming, saying, "Hey, I haven't moved on." With these pictures, him posting up, he hasn't moved on. But then again, you have these gun glazers that they always like to say and prove, without evidence and without facts, trying to prove a point, an invalid point, always have an excuse. That's how these gun glazers are. They always have an invalid excuse, and it doesn't make sense to them. Like I said, 1 plus 1 equals 5, because that's just the James Gunn model mentality. That's how it is. That they want you to accept. Hey, this is the doctrine. 1 plus 1 equals 5. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. That's how they are. And if you're not, you don't like what James Gunn is doing, then you're not a fan. You're not a real fan. It's like, come on, man, let's be real. It's just showing you. Gun fans will have to move on us soon. That's what they tell us. Yeah, yeah, they're already moving on. They know what's up. That's why they're scared. Um, Beku Movies, what's up? Thanks for watching, my friend. Who would have thought Netflix was still interested? I mean, it's all about money. It's all about money and greed. So, these greedy corporations, they have the money and they're all greedy. So, like I said, whoever in the end is willing to bid the highest and they're willing to spend the money to invest on it, that's it. Do what you got to do. Ryan Reynolds was going to appear at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League with Barrog. Instead, Zack had to use Martian Manhunter. Yeah, yeah. We were supposed to see that and stuff. But again, thank you, Toby Emmerich and freaking Jeff Johns that ruined everything. And then of course the cherry on top, which was freaking what's his name, James Gunn, completely ruined everything. Which side is more worse? Pick one. Suicide Squad, Justice League, Wonder Woman 84, Flash, The Suicide Squad, Bird of Prey, Peacemaker. Which is worse? I'm gonna be honest with you. Out of everything you just mentioned, I don't acknowledge in none of the timelines. There's only one movie I do not acknowledge. I'll take all of the ones you said, but there's only one in there that doesn't belong, and that's James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. That's the worst piece of shit movie that doesn't even belong in any of the timeline. Honestly, that shit needs to be retconned. It needs to be completely gone forever. In the sense of the cinematic universe, it needs to completely be like Thanos, wiped away, gone. Everything else, I'm good with Birds of Prey. I'm good with the Flush. I'm good with hell. Even Peacemaker season 1 was okay. I could still say, all right, it was better than the second season, and I haven't even seen the second season. I don't have to see it. Just hearing what people are saying, seeing the clips that HBO Max is posting, and things that are popping up on my feed, I'm like, this is garbage. This is garbage, honestly. But everything besides the Suicide Squad, yo, like yeah, the Suicide Squad from James Gunn, fuck that movie, honestly. Zach knows what's happening behind the scenes. It's gonna happen, I feel, but regardless if it doesn't or not, wallet's closed. Like Brink's truck to any gun disgusting cinematic universe. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, we won't support him if they want to keep on moving with James Gunn. Hell nah, hell no. I'm telling you right now, any studio that continues and Paramount is trying to do that bullshit. I'm telling you right now, if Paramount does, f around and find out. F around and find out, Paramount. Go ahead, try us, try us. You'll be in the same situation like WB is right now, plus baggage. So it's best for business if you fire James Gunn and you need to bring back Zach. Honestly, let's be real. To say he's not working on Rebel Moon 3 fully, there's behind the scenes. You don't know what he does at home. I'm just thinking like a working man thinks. No, yeah, for sure. I see that point of view also. He could be working on it on the side and stuff, but he's right now focused on what he's getting paid for these movies and stuff. So, he has to deliver. He has a time frame to deliver and stuff like that. So, that doesn't stop him on his spare time, of course, doing some sketches and ideas and things like that. So I'm sure he has a plan. He knows what he's doing. I would have loved to see Zack Snyder's Justice League and with Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern. Yeah, that would have been dope. That would have been dope. DCU shows are hilarious. Henry Cavill Superman literally sacrificed himself for humanity in Batman versus Superman. This is better than anything James Gunn's super cringeman will ever do. Yeah, big time. Gun Superman is not even crashing out HBO Max. Yeah, that tells you everything. But then they want to go ahead and say that everybody's watching it. I mean, the few people that do have the subscription are watching it just because there's nothing else. There's nothing on Disney Plus right now. There's nothing on Paramount Plus right now. Let's be real. Is there anything on Amazon? Hell no. There's nothing. So obviously that's why people are watching it, because they're bored. And if they haven't seen it, hey, they're checking it out. But, again, not even Peacemaker season 2 was getting views. So nobody's interested in that. So that tells you a lot. Let's see. Yeah, everything is speculation, but what matters is credibility, and some places are more credible than others. Yeah, I guess if you want to say. Not trying to be mean or anything, but I don't like the actress who's playing Supergirl in the DCU. She's miscast. Yeah, that what's her name? Millie something, I don't remember right now. But yeah, I don't like her as Supergirl, honestly. I didn't like her in what it was Game of Thrones. Yeah, I've never liked her as an actress when her work and stuff. Yeah, we're all getting tired of everyone following and copying what Disney and Marvel did to the MCU. Yeah, big time. It gets boring, and now it's boring and it's played out, and people are tired of it. People just want something new and different. For you, the turning point was when Ben Affleck said, "Anything is possible." Exactly, exactly. Anything is possible, and we're seeing it happen right now. We're seeing how all of this is happening literally in real time. Just give me that Ben Affleck, Zack Snyder Batman movie announcement, and we are good to go. Hell yeah! I'm telling you, once they announce that, oh, the internet is gonna crash. Everybody's gonna be talking about that everywhere. Um, People really believe James Gunn is going to be at DC for 10 years. Yeah, yeah, that's not gonna happen for sure. That's not gonna happen. It's gonna be less than that. Netflix buying WB will probably be the best option for Snyderverse, but it kind of sucks not to experience it in theaters. Well, I mean, Netflix is trying to do stuff now with AMC, so again, anything is possible. Anything can happen. So we have to wait and see. Again, if Netflix is willing to invest and do in theatrical runs, even if it's like an exclusive type of event, hell, that's all that matters, because you already have streaming. But we also want theatrical releases, and we also want physical media. You get what I'm saying? Like, I want to add to my collection Rebel Moon 1 and 2. I do. I want to add that to my collection. Now the question is, will Netflix actually put it on physical media? That's the question for me. Henry Cavill Superman won a fight against DCU Superman. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Henry Cavill Superman is selected by everyone, so yeah, that's for sure. Let's see. Because of swap Silver Surfer, the gender, yeah, it's always with that nonsense, honestly. So sick and tired of it. You see why Warner Bros. Shields and James Gunn trolls are pushing for Paramount to get WBD, which I hope they don't. It doesn't happen. Yeah, exactly, because that's what it is. All these shills and the same, type of people that carry agendas, that's what they want. They just want their agenda to keep on being, promoted and stuff. All that propaganda, nobody cares about that anymore. So, that's why I'm glad that David Zaslav is turning down, those offers. I mean, at this point, I'm starting to see, you know what? That makes sense. Perfect. That he's declining those offers. What does, let's see us for, all right, let's see. True, true. Let's see. James Gunn failed. Big to save DC and WB too, because he's not the right person for DC, and Gunn was never a real fan. He never was. True. He just wanted to ruin comic book movies. Yeah, he's been doing a fantastic job at that, honestly. Um, Let's see. All right. On a side note, you should really read the annual issue of Absolute Batman. It's so damn good. Yeah, I have to check that out. Honestly, I keep hearing the same thing, man. But I know. I'm not sure if you're the one that told me. I know somebody told me give it a chance. I just don't like the art on it, just because I don't know. It's just extremely bulky and stuff. Just way too much. But I do have to check it out. I'd be hearing a lot of people talking good stuff about it. So, and I know it's selling really good. So I might have to really, overlook that and just give it a chance. Gunn should go back to Marvel where he belongs. DC is not a comedy show like his Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, in the end, he's gonna end up going back to Marvel. You'll see. You'll see. Watch. James Gunn, especially with this whole shift and change that's happening, watch in the end that James Gunn is going to end up going back to Marvel to continue with his Guardians of the Galaxy, especially that Star Lord movie. I mean, nothing has been done with that. That's literally just up in the air. So, I mean, he's not gonna just hand that over to somebody else. It's like that's what he's good at. So I don't see him lasting long at DC. And then when he does go to Marvel, you'll see him back again with his Guardians of the Galaxy, and then it's gonna pick up again probably at the end of Doomsday, and it's gonna for sure be in Secret Wars. Secret Wars is gonna go all out. I'm telling you, they are gonna go all out. Like, it's gonna be nuts. As far as you're concerned, James Gunn, the Suicide Squad takes place after the events of the Flash and James Gunn's Clooneyverse. I don't even acknowledge James Gunn's The Suicide Squad timeline at all, honestly. That's to me like a what if. That's how I look at it. James Gunn's DCU was finished before it even started. Yeah, it was done. The moment we saw, and I remember talking about that when The Suicide Squad was released during what, the pandemic, I was like, this is a preview of what's to come for Superman. And then when we saw in The Flush, especially when we saw the baby scene in the opening, with the microwave and the little dog and all the stupid cheesy CG that they put, I was like, this is going to be what Superman is going to be. And that's exactly what we got, but worse. That's why I was like, yeah, this is not the person that's right. Maybe third party for physical media for Netflix. Who knows? Who knows? It would be nice to see more. You heard a YouTuber say James needs to win back the audience, which was his excuse for Superman's underwhelming box office. I'm thinking, what the heck is he talking about? He lost half the audience. Yeah, a lot of people have tuned out. People are just tired of it and stuff like that. You're waiting for the King Zack Snyder's return. Yeah, all of us are, honestly, with the whole DC universe and stuff. So we'll see what happens. I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen. Especially, I really want to know how much is Comcast and Netflix willing to counteroffer? That's what I really want to know. We already know that 60 billion was turned down from David Zaslav towards Paramount Skydance. That's 60 billion. Now I want to see what Comcast and Netflix are willing to put out there and say, hey, look, we want to counter offer this much. So it's gonna get intense. It's those numbers are gonna go high. They're gonna go high. Rumor Toby is going to be in Secret Wars and Part 4. Yeah, that's gonna happen for sure. Same thing with Andrew Garfield and stuff. I always wanted comic book characters to be taken seriously in the movies. Yeah, that's the same with me. Like I know a lot of people don't want to see them like that, but when it comes to what we've already have established, especially with what Zach has already created, I mean, you can't top that. You just really can't. This is why you're seeing what James Gunn is doing is a disaster, is a mess, and a lot of people are just not eating it because we already got quality. Now we're seeing DC without quality, meaning James Gunn and his formula. It didn't work. It just didn't work, and it's not working. If James Gunn goes back to Marvel and Kevin Feige listens to him, that's it for the MCU because it was Gunn who caused the MCU to decline. Yeah, but they're all shills, so they're all deep in bed with each other. So they're arguing, and then an hour later they make up and they're back together. So that's just how the Marvel formula and the Disney mentality works. So that's how it is. The people who made James Gunn head of DCU are definitely regretting it now, big time. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And the main one is David Zaslav. David Zaslav is the one that must be regretting it, saying, I left this bozo in charge. Yeah, yeah, exactly. We tried telling you in the beginning. If James Gunn is gone from DC, I don't think James Gunn should be returned to Marvel. He'll probably retire. Nah, I doubt it. I doubt it. I really doubt it. Especially with how now Marvel's building up towards Secret Wars. You can't have Avengers and you can't have all these characters without Guardians of the Galaxy. It's already part of them. It's embedded already in that brand. The Avengers has to have Guardians of the Galaxy because that's what we have already seen in the previous movies. So it would make no sense. Like if I was running Disney, I would be like, "Yo, how the hell we're not gonna have Guardians of the Galaxy? They were in the last, two films and stuff like that." So I mean, at this point, it's already established and it's just part of the brand. The Ben Affleck return movie. Come on, let's go. They won watch. They won DVD buy. Yeah, yeah, hell yeah, for sure it's gonna sell. It's money. It's money guaranteed. I like the idea of Snyder using the Flash's time travel to have changed things. Like, for example, with the Flash's time travel, we could get a different Lex Luthor, perhaps, or even a Robin. Yeah, there's so much that you could do. That's why I say, like, with what the Flash and the multiverse. I mean, unfortunately, it's already set. It's already done, and it's there. But Zack utilized it to the fullest, and he completely erased Justice League. So and then it got repaired. It got fixed with the Snyder cut. So if that was done, everything else could be done. The absolute DC universe, honestly. Let's see. Dark moody vibe, but just what you thought though. James Gunn needs to be interviewed by Chris Hansen. Yeah, man. Zach going to have his cast, his own Supergirl. Don't want nothing from Gunn. Yeah, yeah. We really don't want anything from James Gunn, honestly. It's nuts, but how things are right now, we'll see what's gonna happen, and in the end, just it just has to happen. So I don't know in the end, like I said, just let's wait for things to to sort out and let them unfold. um it's just a matter of time. Everything is just a matter of time and stuff like that. So it'll happen. Something's gonna happen. Something is cooking for sure, for sure. Let's see. Comcast needs to fire David Zaslav and James Gunn, then buy WB. Yeah, big time. People have made the point of Zach's movies being some of the most talked about DC movies to this day. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy how you have one picture trending on the internet, and then another one, and another one is just like, whoa, what's going on? So it moves, it sells, it gets attention, and that's what people like and stuff. So that's the important part. MTV has canceled Ridiculousness after 14 years of 46 seasons. Wow, it's about time. It was ridiculous that that show kept on going, honestly. I was like, who's even watching this still? I mean, we have YouTube. Like, I'm surprised that thing lasted so long. We don't acknowledge Gunn's input of George Clooney as Batman because it wasn't funny. It was career suicide. Yeah, pretty much. When I saw George Clooney, I was like, what the hell? Like, I was like, oh, nah, you can clearly see this was James Gunn behind it. Everything is a joke to James Gunn. Yeah, everything, everything. He's good at humor. And even his humor is kind of raunchy and corny. So, I mean, it's James Gunn. Did you hear about Clayface already done filming? Damn, already? That was fast. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Let's see. Knowing what we know about Hollywood, Gunn will hold on. Will probably fail upward to a position at another studio. Yeah, I don't think another studio is gonna want him, honestly, besides Disney and Marvel. Warner Bros. Could be sold before Christmas. Something is happening, really. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Like we know, last year David Zaslav was trying to sell off WB, and they didn't want to give him what he wanted. So now let's see what this year holds. I think at this point now David Zaslav is like, I'm done. I just want I want to get this headache, and I just want to move on, pretty much. And this is why I think he's asking a lot more, and he keeps on declining Paramount just because he doesn't want to be attached, I think, as a co-CEO anymore. But he's trying to get the most for his money and stuff like that. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen, and how things are gonna develop. Because like I said, as we keep on moving forward, we're already officially tomorrow on November 1st. Today's October 31st, and we literally have now what like about like 60 days left of the year. For sure, we're gonna be hearing something. For sure, for sure. There's no and ifs or buts. The question is what we're gonna be hearing and how things are gonna be unfolding. In Bubble Talks interview, James Gunn was already doubting himself and DCU's future because he know his time is up. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So that tells you everything. That tells you everything. And they're not telling him nothing. They're hiding things from him. So as the CEO of DC Studios, that's not good. That's not good. They're hiding things from you. So what are they doing? They're preparing something behind your back, and they're not including you. So what is that telling you? Yeah, bye bye. When your contract is up, we're not renewing it, and that's how it should be. James Gunn will be lucky if his sequel to Superflop isn't canceled. Yeah, it could get canceled just like Batgirl. So again, anything is possible. The only good thing that came from Peacemaker is that Aquaman is no longer the butt of everyone's DC and superhero jokes. Peacemaker is now the butt of everyone's DC and superhero jokes. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I agree with you. Kind of realized lately that 300 was inspired by Frank Miller. I think Zach is the pioneer of the comic book superhero movie. Yeah, he does some good movies. I know a lot of people don't like it just because of the slow motion and how dark and gritty it is, but I love that stuff. I really love his style. I know fast tracking the movies. Do you honestly think Pattinson's Batman can hold a candle to Affleck? Nah, Robert Pattinson's Batman is not. That's not it. David Zaslav needs to be investigated. Yeah, I mean all these crooks. I agree. I think we will hear something very soon. Yeah, the Gunverse will be canceled. Yeah, it's gonna be canceled. And he knows it too. Zack Snyder would never put these Batfleck images if he didn't get permission from Affleck. Exactly. Exactly. And not only from Affleck, from right now WB, so who knows? Again, who knows what's cooking? Something is definitely cooking on behind closed doors. And it's just a matter of time. In the end, that's all it is. Predator Badlands will be flopping at the box office next week. Let's see. Let's see how that turns out. The entire Pattinson Batman movie couldn't hold a candle to one's warehouse scene with Affleck's Batman in it. If you don't like Snyder's Batman, then you don't like masculinity. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Cause Ben Affleck's Batman straight up, he's a badass. He's a badass. Emo Batman, emo Bruce Wayne. Nah, yeah, same with me. Nah, just I didn't like it. Even John Campia has started to talk about Netflix, even though he was doubting them earlier. Ah, you see, that's what I'm saying. And now he's doing it for content, just for clicks, honestly. Jeremy, what's up? What's up? Just here hanging out with you and stuff. Ben versus Pattinson Batman. Who wins? I mean, do we really even have to answer that? I mean, it's kind of obvious, you know. Ben Affleck, Ben Affleck wins that for sure, no doubt. In 2 weeks, welcome to the Running Man. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Yeah, this is gonna be nice. Like I said, just we have to see now what in the end is going to happen because again, from now until December, everything is just pure speculation. Nobody knows. Nobody knows anything officially until these studios confirm and tell us exactly what's happening and what's going on. But we're gonna see. We will see what's gonna happen and stuff like that. Only Zach could go up against Marvel, Secret Wars, etc. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League and whatever he has prepared in there, straight up can go up against big time against the Avengers. Like being honest, like looking at it from a business standpoint and from a fan, it would make logic sense to have Zach back and continue and finish, what he wanted to do. Because if the Avengers, they already made what three Avengers movie. They already have a set trilogy. Justice League could have been up there, but it's WB trying to be like Marvel, and they still don't know what to do. That's what it shows you, the poor leadership that they have. Zach has a plan. He knew what he was doing, but WB and the executives didn't let him do it because they were all influenced by Marvel and whatever, all that headache and stuff like that. And now it's proven you need Zach back. Look at how like social media is going just with these pictures, and these are pictures. Look at how everybody's buying product from McFarlane Toys. They're getting funded and they're extending days because they're making money. That's what's the difference. Now compare that to James Gunn. James Gunn's just costing the studio money. They've been losing money. They're not making profit. And in the end, they want to keep on going with this universe. All right, you're going into bankruptcy. That's it. Just keep on digging the hole into bankruptcy, and that's where you're gonna end up. And if the DCU with James Gunn was so successful, like everybody's saying, the minority of fans of James Gunn, then why are they going up for sale? That's the difference. Why are they going up for sale? They were so successful, they wouldn't be having to milk the Snyderverse with products, with merchandise and everything that sells with the Snyderverse, and to help fund their shitty DCU. And look at where they are right now. It's so successful, right? It's so successful that their stocks are doing bad. Not only that, their movies are tanking and everything's a mess. Everything's a mess. Superman couldn't even reach the numbers that they thought. They struggled to get their budget back. That's it. WB's like, oh, we got our budget back. How pathetic is that for a company to say, hey, we made our budget back? Wow. So you're in this business just to make back what you invested? That's terrible. You need to be saying, we made profit. Man of Steel made profit. Batman vs. Superman made profit. Hell, even Justice League made profit. Let's be real. And we were on the path to goodness when we had Aquaman because that made $1 billion. And it's still part of the Snyderverse. The second one is what the mess with the remaining mess of Walter Hamada and James Gunn and it was just a disaster. All right, let's be real. With Zack Snyder, there's profit. Without him, we've seen it. Look at all the movies without Zack Snyder. Wonder Woman 84, Aquaman 2. I mean, do we really have to keep getting into details? No, we already know. But then the gun glazers are gonna be like, "Oh, we're eating good." Yeah, you're not eating good. You're eating stale. Everything is completely burnt and stale. And in the end, nobody's supporting it. We will see what's gonna happen and stuff. Um, Let's see. You still miss the Snyderverse? Yeah, yeah, but it's gonna come back. Everyone's is talking about the Zach post picks. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Let's see. Paramount must be stopped. Big time, big time. I agree with you. It has to be stopped on every level because completely. Like Paramount, I just don't want them. Honestly, I don't want them to own the DC brand because they're going to continue with James Gunn. They've literally said it, and all the rumors that are coming out, yeah, they plan on keeping James Gunn. So yeah, we cannot let Paramount buy them out, honestly. And if they do, then we'll keep our wallets closed again. You know, they're gonna stay locked, and that's it. You know, like screw them. You know, they want to play that card, we'll play it too. If Comcast gets WB, that's a good thing. If Comcast decides to bring the Snyderverse to Universal and Christopher Nolan, that will help. Yeah, that would help big time. It would. It would big time. So we'll see. We'll see. Ray, what's up? The true DCU must return as live action. Gunn must go, and out he will be. Honestly, again, everything is everything is just uncertain right now. He knows it. James Gunn knows that his career and his days over at WB are a done deal. You know, it's all caught up. There's nothing else they could do. This sale will happen. It's not gonna stop. Nobody's gonna prevent it. And in the end, you will see how things are gonna go back to where they left off, and we're going to get good movies again. Because in the end, that's all that matters. We just want good entertainment. And it just takes the right studio to do it, and especially if they have the money and they want to invest the time and the money in it and stuff like that, then they can do it. That's all that matters. Once we do have that, oh, I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you, we're gonna look back and be like, what the hell happened? After Zack Snyder, we're all gonna be looking during that time. The only positive is that two positives is one, we got the Snyder cut during this whole mess that we've been going after Zack, from after Justice League, and when we got with Black Adam, that they were able to bring back Henry Cavill. But besides that, everything has been a mess, unfortunately. But it just shows you with Zack Snyder, things were connected. It was opening the door to greatness, much more projects and all that stuff. And we're seeing now without Zack Snyder. This is the effect without Zack Snyder, honestly, at DC with their live action movies. How come Harry Potter's not helping them? How come Minecraft isn't helping them? How come Barbie, Dune? How come all these movies are not helping WB? Because they're just not a hit. They're a one hit wonder type of thing. That's it. They made their money and that's it. Nobody remembers them. But look at us, 12 years later. You have, of course, us, the Snyder fans, and you have the trolls still talking about Man of Steel, a movie that came out 12 years ago. 12 years ago. Think about that. Over a decade ago. And we're talking about like it was just released within the past 3 years. It's aging like fine wine. Meanwhile, with James Gunn, every time there's always a new meme and another joke, and it's just another it's just ridiculous. See the difference? But then you have the gun glazers literally glazing all over James Gunn. Oh, but we're eating good. No, you're not. You wish you were. We were eating good. Real fans were eating good. And it's proven at the box office. Numbers don't lie. Superman made numbers domestically to make their budget back. But worldwide, Superman 2025 from James Gunn was a joke. It was a parody. The king of all parodies. That's what it was. It was a circus. It was a shit show. Man of Steel made budget and it made profit 12 years ago. And James Gunn wasn't able to prove and beat that. And we proved them that we were right and they were wrong. Remember on day one, all these James Gunn fans came out glazing. Oh, Superman's gonna make $1 billion. Oh, $1 billion day one. And they were making fun of us and always, right? And what happened? They started lowering the standards every time, more and more until they reached 100,000. So when 100,000 was reached, oh, we're eating good. No, you clowns. Every time you just set the bar lower and lower instead of raising it higher and higher. You started high, and in the end, you aimed very low. And their excuse was, as long as we make budget, we're good. Ridiculous, huh? That's insane. That completely is insane. It's no surprise, though. It is what it is. But with that being said, my friends, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all stay safe. Have fun. Be careful out there because today's going to be a wild night. Y'all already know and stuff like that. Stay safe. Enjoy yourselves. And I'll be back again over the weekend. And let's see what happens because we still have a few hours left, on the West Coast. And we're going to see because for sure something's going to come out and more updates are going to be dropping and stuff like that. So I'm going to catch you on the next one. Till then, share the video, hit the subscribe, show your support, all that good stuff. And until next time, peace out.